Hello guys, Matt here, and welcome back to another Ayres mini-cast. Me and Jack are on the line on Discord right now. You can see him, he's going to be waving at you very nicely from his webcam. And we are going to be talking about things that we're doing to keep ourselves sane in isolation. Obviously, everybody is stuck inside right now, not being able to do very much, but we're going to talk about things that you can do to make the most out of this opportunity and the most out of your spare time. So Jack, what have you been doing whilst you've been in self-isolation?
Mainly Netflix, just catching up on stuff that I've never really got around to watching. But I mean, the plan from now is I've got a uni assignment in 4 weeks' time. So I'll
that's not so fun.
Start working on that and get that in. But then basically. Well, Netflix, uni, and gaming probably is what I'll end up doing. But
so I've gone a step further than Netflix. I got persuaded by the other half to get Disney Plus.
Right, yeah.
Which is it's all right. It's obviously got literally like every Disney film ever. It's got every Pixar, every Marvel, every Star Wars film. Like, it's decent, but they're just not my sort of cup of tea, so it's very much for her. But there's stuff like The Mandalorian, which is apparently a very good TV series about Star Wars and stuff.
Yeah.
I watched Holes yesterday.
Right, yeah.
Have you ever seen Holes before? Have you read the book or anything?
That's the one with Shia LaBeouf in, isn't it?
It is indeed, a very young Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, so I did it for school. It was like my GCSE book that I had to do.
Yeah.
It's a good little film. I rated it. So we took a little bit of a trip down memory lane with that yesterday. I think entertainment is very much something that's getting sold in the masses right now. So I can assume that Netflix's subscription base has gone up quite a bit, and like Disney Plus has come out and has probably sold loads. So I think people are very much spending more money on entertainment these days and watching things.
Every single episode of Simpsons is on Disney Plus as well.
Yeah, which like is what, 20 seasons worth of Simpsons?
30, I think.
So 30 is
30
it?
30 series, yeah, I think so.
So I'll that's enough to keep me busy forever.
Yeah. I think there's
So I might watch. It's only like £60 a year, so
I was looking up, and I think it's 679 episodes.
Wow.
So it's quite a few. Yeah,
That's mental.
I think you'll be busy.
Yeah, I mean that could easily keep me busy if I was looking for something to watch, indeed. But yeah, I think that like that is one thing that you can do to like cure the boredom is simply watching things that you maybe wouldn't normally have the time to do. Obviously, there's a lot of time to sit around and do not a lot at the moment, not being able to go outside and etc. etc. So, like, I think sitting around and watching those TV series that you maybe haven't found the time to watch, but have always heard are good, I think that's a pretty good way of going about curing the boredom.
Yeah, one in particular is Game of Thrones.
So that's now on your list.
Yeah, so I haven't moved on since I last spoke to you about it. So what, season 2?
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be pretty easy to pick that up again and
I reckon you could at least get to season 5 by the end of isolation. I reckon. By the end of the lockdown, I reckon you could probably get there.
Problem is like so I need to like do this uni now, because otherwise I just won't do it effectively, because I do have enough to just keep me distracted for ages. So
yeah,
I need to try and get uni out.
I mean,
get that sorted, and then bang, that's it. I can do whatever I want then.
As soon as you've got the stuff done that you don't want to do, then you can crack on and do some other things. Yeah, that'd be good. I think if I was gonna recommend one TV series to people that is good to watch in a row, just bash them all out, I'd probably go Breaking Bad.
Yeah, no,
I reckon if
that was my
if
first
you've not
thought
seen
when
it,
you sort of started saying.
Yeah, if you've not seen Breaking Bad, now
is pretty.
is a
good,
great time to go and watch Breaking Bad because it's just so bloody good. And then you got the Breaking Bad movie that was a sequel.
Not seen that, but have you seen
You've
it?
not seen it?
I haven't. No,
Did you say you've not seen it?
I have not. No,
It's decent. It is decent. It's not like insanely good. It doesn't live up to the expectations of the TV series.
Yeah.
But it's still a good watch, and it's nice to see what happens to Jesse after the final episode of Breaking Bad, which is pretty cool.
Fair enough. Yeah,
but yeah, is there any other series that you would recommend to someone right now?
Slightly different, but Orange is the New Black is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, what else?
I started that, but then I started watching it with someone that, I wouldn't want to really sit down and watch something with. So I ended up not going back to it solely because every time I looked at it, I thought, well, I started watching that with that person. Yeah. So it was like, can't be bothered to watch that anymore.
Something that I find hilarious, Brooklyn NineNine. That's definitely worth watching.
Yeah, a lot of people do talk about that, and it's something I've seen the odd episode on E4 or whatever.
Yeah,
and that could be potentially something that's worth watching. Away from watching things, what about games? Is there any games that you think cure the isolation boredom?
Well, I mean, the first ones I go to Warzone now, effectively.
Yeah.
And then GTA, play that. But yeah,
so a lot of the things that you...
Again, similar to the TV series, I've got a lot of games that I've not played that I should have. For example...
Yeah, how's Far Cry going?
Still haven't started that. Assassin's Creed, still I started Origins, and there's the other one that I've not played yet.
Odyssey.
No, I got that the wrong way around. Have I? I played the Egyptian one, started the Egyptian one. I think that's Origins. Anyway,
Origins is the Egyptian one, yeah.
Yeah. So started that. For some reason I bought every single Tomb Raider. And
as you do,
didn't replay any of them, so something I could do. The Witchers.
You've got quite a lot. So once you finish your coursework, you got a lot of games.
Oh man,
you got a lot of games to play.
I got too many games. That's the problem. That's why I think.
I think for me this is. Yeah, I think for me this is the chance to go and play a game that you've been putting off for ages and takes a long time. So I saw someone on Facebook the other day, it was I've never played Final Fantasy X. Now Final Fantasy X is my favourite game of all time. So I was straight on there commenting to them this is the perfect time to do it. You need a lot of time, a lot of hours sat playing this game in a row to learn the battle mechanics, blah blah, the story's amazing, etc etc. This time, whilst everyone is sat inside, is a great time for someone to pick up the gaming hobby and play a game that people have been talking about and that they've never really picked up. For example, I have sat on my desk right now, holding it up to the camera currently. This is God of War, which everyone says is the game of the year from 2018 or whatever it was. But I never played it, and I bought it, and I've still never played it. So I need to pick up this God of War game and actually put it in my console and actually play it. Look, the cellophane is still on it. I need to sort that out. I mean, it's definitely a game that I need to play.
Yeah.
You obviously can't see it, but the people at home can. I need to play it. I need to sort that out and play it. But away from Warzone, obviously, is something that both me and you have delved into. We haven't really delved into it together yet.
No, you need me by the sound of it.
Stuyben can carry you so far, mate. But then you do hit a bit of a brick wall. Me and Stuyben have done really well, though, to be fair. We're getting a lot better at it.
I think I
haven't played with him in 2 weeks, though.
It is extremely difficult with only two. I think you definitely need three. And you definitely need...
You need three, or, yeah. 100%.
You definitely need at least one sort of competent player. And then someone who's just not going to be a bit, special. So...
I would say you need at least one player who knows exactly what they're doing, and the other two still need to be somewhat decent at shooter games.
You just yeah.
I think that's a fair thing to say.
It's just about communicating, and really, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think I've won 3-4 times. Like, so not many, but
See, I still haven't won yet, although
I get into the last 10 quite a lot. Top 5 sometimes, not most of the time, but yeah, it's just I do like it. It's good fun, but it's there are a lot of good players out there, to be fair. So
yeah, there are definitely, and I've even enjoyed playing solos. So I've recorded a video that's going to go up on the Ayres YouTube gaming channel at some point. And it's just, I've literally, all I'm doing is just pissing about with Warzone.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just trying to get my first solo win. And some of the things that have happened have just been hilarious. Like, the ways I've died, I guess I could probably say it because it'll probably go out before this minicast does. So like, one of the ways I died was a lorry drove over my body.
Right.
And then knocked me down. I had a self-revive. I self-revived myself. Shot at the lorry a couple of times as it drove away from me. Turns around, went to walk up to a wall, and this guy just appeared out of a bush and killed me. It's like, how is that a thing? And then another one, I was in a sniping battle, and I was sniping this guy, and then the storm was coming in. As the storm came in, I tried to jump out the window, to jump out of the building that I was in, and my player just got stuck in the middle of the window. And then I tried to jump out the next window next to it, got stuck in the window. Then finally got out of the third window. By the time I got out of the third window, my health was already going down a fair bit from the storm. And I start running along, and then a guy from a completely different direction just shoots me once and kills me. I was like, for crying out loud. But
I've not played solos a lot, but I found it less enjoyable than in a squad. But then that's probably because, yeah, it's easier, I guess, in a squad.
Yeah, it's a lot easier in a squad, and you can be a lot more aggressive in a squad because obviously you can attack from different angles and catch people off guard. Whereas in a solo, you have to play a little bit more passively, and you have to be a little bit more sensible about your options and stuff like that.
Yeah, see, I don't like to hang about. I like to do stuff because otherwise I just get bored, which is why I think solos doesn't work for me because I just, like you say, you get aggressive and you just get picked off. It's just like, right.
Yeah, definitely. And like there'll be so there was last night off recording. I was just playing on my own whilst the girlfriend was in bed, so I couldn't make any noise or anything. But I was playing Warzone and I was playing solos, and several times I dropped into an area, got a couple of guns, went to shoot one guy who I had a clear shot on, but then there was 3 other guys in 3 other different buildings that were all hiding in these buildings who just picked me off.
Yeah.
Even though I was making an aggressive play on one player, I was just getting taken out by everyone else around me. So it makes it less fun, and it doesn't encourage like aggressive play.
That's another annoying thing I've found is that people literally just sit in corners. They'll get into the circle, they'll sit in a corner, do that for about 20 minutes, and then be in the last 5, and it's just, I just don't understand.
Yeah, and they've not killed anybody, they've not really done anything. But I think as the game gets older, the player base will get better, so more people will be aggressive, and then hiding in those corners just won't work for you anymore.
Potentially.
Fingers crossed. That's what happened with Fortnite anyway.
Yeah. Because
people used to be able to hide in bushes in Fortnite and get into the last circle, but they just can't do that anymore.
Wouldn't know. I haven't played it for about 9 months or whatever.
So moving on from gaming, is there anything else that you reckon people could do to, make the most out of this spare time we've currently got?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's so. One thing that I'm planning on doing is picking up a new skill. Now, my skill, hopefully, will be... I've always wanted to learn Spanish. So I feel like now is a good time to take online lessons and see if that'll work, I guess. But
yeah,
I mean,
te amo? No, is that it? Is that right?
I literally no idea, mate. I've not spoke. I know the very, very, very minimal Spanish, and that is stuff like hola.
And yeah, good stuff.
But yeah,
I know French better. I can speak a bit of French, but like me llamo Matt. That is, my name is Matt in Spanish, I think, or is it Italian? I think it's Spanish.
Don't know.
I don't know.
I only know Je m'appelle for my name is, so I wouldn't have a clue. But yeah, no. So that's something like that, or there's so many skills out there that you can learn. Working on
you can always like set yourself a little
got interest in that. Go and I don't know. There's loads of stuff.
There's loads of stuff you can do. Like you can set yourself a little bit of a challenge. Like each week, try and learn something new. So it might be to knit or to juggle or to do a forward roll, for example. It's anything that you can do to like push yourself a little bit and learn something new, and then go, because like you'll have grandkids one day, and they'll turn and say to you, "Oh, what happened when the coronavirus came and you were stuck inside all the time?" The last thing you want to do is say to them, "Oh yeah, I watched Breaking Bad and got Disney Plus. It was great." You'd rather say, "Oh yeah, that's the spring that I learned how to play guitar," or "That's the spring that I, learned how to speak Spanish," for example. Like, do something worth doing.
Guitar is definitely a good one.
So like, I think what I'm going to be doing is just taking the time to try, because obviously I'm still working normal shifts, because with my job I still have to go in, part of the key worker bracket, and even though I'm still going in and I've just got this normal week off, usually on my week off I'd go out and do stuff, whether it be playing football, going to football training, going to the gym. Obviously I can't do any of that this week, so I'll be most likely trying to make videos that are just a little bit different, a little bit more challenging to make. So I've got a couple of ideas of different videos I want to make. I want to make a couple of these mini casts if we can think of bloody topics to talk about. So if you guys can think of topics that we can talk about, that'd be great, because we're struggling because there's nothing happening in the world right now apart from coronavirus, and we don't really want to sit and talk about coronavirus all day.
Yeah, it wouldn't be any fun. It'd probably bring a downer to everyone as well. It's already talked about enough. So
yeah, it's all over the news and stuff. We don't really need to add to it. But also something else
just let us know what you could end up doing in the time off.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys have any ideas of what you're gonna do whilst in quarantine, something you're learning that's new, it might be something that other viewers want to pick up. So fill the comments with things that you're going to do, and then if you decide to take someone else's comment on and give it a go, let us know by replying to them as well and start a little conversation about it. But yeah, I'm going to try and make different types of video. I'm making gaming videos on Warzone. I'm going to be making these mini casts. I'm also going to try and make slightly different videos that I've maybe not done in a while. I was thinking about doing a skit, but I can't think of anything other than coronavirus, and I don't really want to make a skit on something that's killing people, so I'm not going to do that. But I will. I've got like a trick shots video that I'm thinking of doing, and also potentially like a fitness video, trying to put a twist on something. Couple of fitness videos actually, and maybe like a write a song in a day video. So there's a couple of things that I've got in the pipeline, but that's just me taking my hobby and using this time wisely and pushing myself to do more. And then obviously I'm going to stream hopefully each day as well.
Just thinking something else you could do is like read up on stuff and learn new, just broaden your knowledge. It never hurts to have a broader
decent knowledge base and
you know.
conversation starters and stuff like that. especially when we go back out into the wider world. And a lot of people that you knew before isolation, like, might have moved on. Like people who go to your gym, or people that play for your football team, or people you work with, even in this time of isolation, might have changed their mindset on things and decided they're not going to go and play football for that team anymore, or they're not going to go and work at that job anymore. They're going to go and do something else. And you might not see those people again. So it might be that you're then meeting new people. So having a wider base of knowledge and interesting stuff to talk about is quite good. And starting up a new hobby could lead to you meeting some new people. Who knows? What I would also say is there's a lot of people out there at the moment who are in isolation on their own and would be very, very lonely. Obviously, we're lucky that we live in a world where we've got the internet and we've got unlimited forms of communication. What I would say is, if you do know someone who is in isolation on their own, maybe just take a little bit of time out of your day every day just to say hello, just to drop them a text message or whatever it might be, just to like give them a little opportunity to talk to people, because otherwise they're going to be going out of their minds.
Yeah, fair point.
Because I've got my grandma now who is in isolation on her own, and I try and make sure that I do message her each day, even if it's with something like pretty small, and just to keep her going a little bit, because otherwise she is literally going to go stir crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sort of, I guess you just try and imagine what it's like being on your own, and then gives you the reason why you'd like someone to reach out. I'm, you know, like you say, lucky to have all forms of communication, and it's, I guess it's hard for us to imagine not having that. So, yeah, I imagine.
Well, yeah, we've always lived in a life where
so.
We've always lived in a life where it's quite easy to communicate with people, even from a young age. Like telephones were still a thing, and you could ring anyone you wanted as long as you knew their number.
Yeah.
And then if I add to that, like MSN was massive back when I was a teenager. So like, it's essentially Facebook chat or WhatsApp, but on just like on your computer. You used to have to use that all the time, and that was a way of communicating with people.
It's basically,
and I think
it's basically Discord, but without
voice chat.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah.
And you didn't really. Well, you did have the group messages, didn't you? But
yeah, you could make groups, but they were instantly shit.
It was mental.
Like you'd add people to a group, and it'd just be like a complete and utter nightmare. But you know, there's people out there that will be struggling with the changes going on in the world. There'll be people that have lost their jobs and stuff. So just like help each other out is all I'd say. And whilst you're doing it, try and do something new. Try and find something that's interesting, something that you can turn to your grandkids one day and say, this is what I did with my isolation, with the lockdown. I learnt to do this, or I created this amazing video, or whatever it might be. Do something that's worthwhile.
Just to add to the point of that I made about knowledge earlier. I'm just thinking it was more towards people who, you know, like myself, who aren't going into uni anymore, or not going to college or school or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, just because you're not going doesn't mean that you don't have to do anything. You still want to give yourself a chance later on. So keep working on, you know, whatever you've worked on through the year, and, you know, like I said, just keep going, and this is the perfect time to then build a foundation for whatever you want to do later on. So,
well, yeah, I've seen several friends on Facebook that have, off the back of having all this time off, like, I've got a mate who's an electrician, and he has started his own business. He's like, right, when I leave isolation, I'm quitting my job, I'm going solo, I'm going to become an electrician off my own back with my own brand, blah, blah, blah. And he's using this time to completely sort out his branding, etc., etc. So there's people out there that are doing impressive stuff. So make sure you are one of them. Make sure you're making the most of your time.
Indeed.
Right, that is it for this mini cast. If you guys enjoyed, please hit a massive thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. Check out all Jack's links in the description down below, and make sure you hit up the comments with all the things that you're doing in isolation that might help other people out. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Farewell, my friends.